Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, I am going to be sharing little bits from my trip to the East Coast. Now I need to give a warning for this video, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about what this video is going to be about, because it is a little bit different. But I also wanted to give a warning to some of you with triple PD. If you are in the beginning stages and you get triggered really easily just from even watching things on a screen, this probably isn't the best video for you to watch. But for those of you that have come a long ways and are healing and well, we're all healing, but maybe a little bit further down the road or the line, and I just wanted to share clips of things that I did on this trip. 2 years ago, I could not do any of these things. Even the thought of doing one of them would that's impossible. There's no way I can do that. And here I have clips of so many different things that we had planned and things that I was able to get through and enjoy myself. Even some surprise things that I was like, I didn't see this coming, but I had no choice. And I don't know, it's exciting for me. And I guess in a way I just kind of wanted to share. I'm just going to kind of put music over the clips because I didn't really do a bunch of talking, but I just wanted to show you that I still have symptoms. When I was on this trip, I had symptoms every single day, but they were mild, and I used my techniques and I was able to enjoy myself, and I didn't feel like I had to struggle throughout the day. If you follow me on Instagram, though, some of you do know, though, that the last few days of the trip, though, were a little bit trickier, were a little bit harder, but regardless, it was a win to me because I traveled halfway across the country and I didn't have any meltdowns, let's say. I got pretty down and sad a little bit the one day where things kind of took a turn, but it didn't last long. And that's the key. You've got to remember that the limbic system just kind of has a little fit, and it's like, what are you doing? Some of you will understand that. But anyways, like I said, I just wanted to kind of give a warning prior that if you can't handle watching certain things on a screen, because for instance, I record while going through a tunnel, and that was the one thing that totally caught me off guard. But I wanted to share it because I did it. And I was okay. I didn't get overstimmed. And the thing is, really, our brain should be able to handle these certain environments. And even though, like I said, I wasn't 100%, I exposed myself to them. So next time it's just going to get better and better and better. So if anything, this is actually more so to encourage you guys that even though we may have been diagnosed with something, it does not limit our ability to do things necessarily. But like I've always said, you know what you can handle. People at the beginning stages of triple PD, I get it. If you can at least just even go walk around the block of your home, you're doing good, okay? So don't take this as a, why aren't you doing all these things? Because 2 years ago, it was hard for me to walk outside of the house, okay? So I totally get it, but it's all about, I was here, this is how I was before, and this is what I can do now. So I just want to encourage you that things are possible, we're not stuck, and you're gonna get better. So I hope you enjoy these little clips from our trip. Hey guys, so I have decided to do a voiceover instead and just talk through each clip as we go here. And we are leaving Minneapolis, St. Paul Airport, and I actually didn't have any anxiety. I always get nervous for takeoff. It's just never been my favorite thing, but the nerves, the anxiety, that was non-existent. And I was just so excited to be on this trip and really in just a place of gratefulness. My recording skills, as you will see, get a little shaky up here because I do get one point where it was hard for me to look out. Um, just because of like heights and normal things like that. But then it was actually really good for me because I'm like, Monica, you can look out this window, you can enjoy this, you can handle this. You know, you've flown many times before. And so this, even just recording this little clip, was a stretch for me. And I don't know, it's just, I know these may seem like small things for most people, but um, having a sensory disorder like this, you know, every little thing actually is a really big accomplishment. And so um, I'm just really proud of myself. All right, so here we made it to DC. The kids are getting off the plane. We're all excited. It is evening time, but we are just obviously, well, that one boy on the right, that's my son Joel. He's actually happy. Look, he's gonna smile. He's got such a cute smile. Anyways, we're just excited to be here. We are going to be, or we did, I should say, we stayed the night in DC, being we got there kind of late. And so the next day, we were going to just tour the, like, all the stuff that the White House area has to offer. I was like looking for a word, the National Mall. That's the word I was looking for. And so we wanted to just check out some museums and some monuments and things like that. And because thankfully a lot of our kids actually really do enjoy history, so we were all very much looking forward to it. The only downside to this day, or the next day when we wake up from arriving, is the whole East Coast was like in extreme heat warnings. So that was a little bit unpleasant, but we tried not to let it get the best of us, and we just tried to stay hydrated and just enjoy our trip. And if you see here, like, I actually really liked this airport. The lights here did not trigger me or set me off. I felt that being it was a little bit more dim, it was actually to my advantage. And I don't know. I just, for some reason, I did exceptional. And once again, very proud of myself. And this is where we started to melt. Oh my goodness. We even started the day super early, and literally we were drenched. I'll just leave it at that. And this was just the start of our day, but honestly, it was great. We were very happy. It was a nice day regardless. All right, and here we are at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And honestly, this building was so much bigger. Like, once we got there, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not expect that. Um, Here, I did have some symptoms going on, and just with how bright it was and how warm it was, I was like, oh my goodness, and all these steps. And so, as you can see, I did, you know, choose to be smart, and I used the railing, just knowing, you know, I'm a little feeling a little bit swayy right now, but um, I'm gonna do this. I can accomplish this. I can get up these steps with my kids. I just took a little detour to the side. But anyways, this was a super cool building, and obviously you can't hear all that's going on, but a lot of sound going on, a lot of people. Like I said, the heat was, it was like over 100 degrees that day, and I was doing really good. Like I said, symptoms super mild, and I was like, how cool is that guy up there? You know, I was like, I don't know, I just loved it. I thought this was a really cool building, and just the architect, and just like, I don't know, it was, I don't know. It's the small things, guys. Come on. So, anyways, the kids enjoyed it too, and yeah, it's just a beautiful building. All right. So the kids were totally stoked about this because they were instantly like the night of the museum or whatever from that movie. Um, so yeah, they were pretty pumped about it. and obviously very neat building. And here is just another extension of this museum. I just wanted to show this clip for more to talk about the sensory part of things. I did great in here. As you can see, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of texture, a lot of people. There's like these different kind of screens that glow and have certain colors, but all was well. All right, guys, here is the tunnel clip. So if you do not think you can handle this, please look away. I want to point out something. There were 4 different lanes. We were in the third one, and at first I was like, oh man, like it's a sparkly wall on both sides. But it actually, I did not get triggered by this, and the lights actually were not that bad. Um, for a little background about me, like first of all, I should say I did not know this tunnel was coming. This was when we left DC. We were done with the museums and we had to head up towards Baltimore and then head over to the Jersey Shore. So this tunnel was a surprise to us. I live in the Midwest. We don't have underground tunnels like this. And so I'll be honest, I've always had a fear of being in a tunnel like this. And I want to say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this tunnel is like 1.5 to 2 miles long. I cannot quite remember. I think it was 1.5 miles though. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my head though, even though I was calm and I was chill, I was like, Lord, just keep the traffic moving. Just keep the traffic moving, because I'm like, I just want to know that I could handle this, and let's not throw a situation on top of it by like the traffic stopping inside of the tunnel. I think that would be a little bit too much for this girl, but it does not happen, and I was fine. I want to talk about, being this clip is kind of long, I want to share something though that happened on the way home. Like I told you, there was bunch of different lanes. On the way home, we had to go through, it was labeled lane number 2. I'll be honest, that's when I was not feeling well, and I actually did not do well. The tunnel had different lights in it, and it did not have the shiny stuff on the walls, and it basically was like a strobe light the entire time. And I'm gonna be very honest, I was set off instantly, and I cried through the whole tunnel on the way home. It did not look like this one did, and it just triggered me. And that's the thing, is you can't help sometimes. And but I cried and I tried to breathe through it, and but I got calmed down, and I was fine. I survived, obviously. It just was kind of unfortunate because on the way there, obviously I'm doing great. I'm actually enjoying this experience, but it wasn't the case going home. But it was what it was. And, like I said, I'm here, all is well. And then after that experience with the tunnel, I got to experience this beautiful bridge. I found so many beautiful things on the East Coast. And like I said, to some, maybe you drive on these bridges all the time, or, you have this kind of scenery everywhere. But I'm from North Dakota. We don't, the town I live in, it is beautiful, but we don't have massive bridges like this. And I really enjoyed myself. Obviously, I love being above sea level and under. And so I really appreciated the structure and the bridges. And I don't know, I'm just enjoying myself. And at this point, I'm getting used to being in the vehicle at higher speeds. Obviously, I was not driving for this whole trip. My husband was. Which is much easier because I can't quite drive very long at high speeds on my own yet. So I'm just taking it all in and enjoying myself. All right. This is my favorite part of our vacation. A lot of our kids love the cities and things like that, the bigger cities, but I am a beach girl. I don't quite understand why I wasn't born near one at all. God decided to plop me right down in North Dakota. Can't get any further away from an ocean if I tried. But I love that we have the capability and the finances to be able to do this. I am always grateful every time I get to go to the ocean. This is my second time being on this side. I've also been to this ocean once down in Florida. And here, this is just our walkway from the condo that we rented for the week. And that guy was just, that's okay. Well, I'll bypass him. But anyways, it was so unexpected. Obviously, we have never been here before. We try to travel different places all the time just to have different experiences. And this was a first for us. And so I didn't know what the beaches were going to be like. And it was beautiful. The sand was super soft. And I have never been on a beach this wide before. I was like, oh my gosh. And honestly, it got busy. Like this was early in the morning. And yeah, there's quite a few people out there. But seriously, by the end of the day, it's packed with people. And normally I would have thought, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'd enjoy that with so many people around. But it wasn't even, it was like totally normal. Like you could tell like people just, minded their own business and were having fun with their families. And you could definitely tell like this was, a place where people bring all of their family, like their cousins and their grandparents, and I don't know, it was just really neat to see. You could, I don't know, I'm having a hard time explaining myself here, but it was just cool to just see the different types of people, and I don't know, I was pleasantly surprised because normally I like to have a little bit more serene, quiet beach environment, but we still didn't feel like we were being bothered, and it was a different kind of experience. I should say it that way. The kids enjoyed the waves, and like I said, the sand was incredible. The water was clear, and it was beautiful. All right, and then this clip, the kids are getting all sunscreened up. They are very white, and so they're going in for the first time, and obviously this is a big deal to us. On a different note, as far as sensory stuff goes, I just want to let you guys know 2 years ago, I couldn't even look at a lake back home, like literally look at like lake water that hardly has any wave to it. And here I am now 2 years later. I didn't go swimming in the ocean, but I got out to about waist deep, and I was handling the waves pretty darn well. I could tell after so long, I'm like, ooh, a lot of people, you start feeling that motion of the ocean or whatever. But man, for somebody with triple PD, I handled it pretty dang well, and obviously was thankful because the waves were not triggering me, the sound was not triggering me. It was just awesome. Like, because you don't, a lot of people with triple PD, you don't know when you're going to get triggered. You don't know when you're going to get overstimmed. And especially, like, this is not a normal environment for me, obviously. And it was just great. I did have one day later on in the week where I did have some troubles with it, but it was just for the one day and it passed. And, and that's okay. It was what it was. But for the majority of the time, I was having a great time and I could handle all of this. All right, here are a bunch of birds going crazy over my favorite thing, a funnel cake. I felt so bad for the person who lost their funnel cake because they're the best and those birds are mean. anyways, here we're at a boardwalk. It's about 10 miles up the road. They had a water park, an amusement park. We didn't do all that. We just wanted to walk and hang out and just kind of check it out. And of course, these boardwalks, they have a lot of good food, like kind of fair food, and there's games and things like that. Obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of sound. Um, Different lights here. Ryder is bragging because he just won that jersey playing a basketball game. Totally shocked all of us, to be honest. I mean, he's great at basketball, but these games aren't always easy to win. So anyways, we stayed till the evening time, and it was great. It was a beautiful night. All right, and here we are just getting into Philadelphia. We decided to head here for the day because we love Phillies, to be honest. We came to Philly to have a Philly. Well, that and the Rocky Steps, I guess. I wasn't all too interested in that, but I was definitely interested in having a Philly. And this bridge is beautiful. Like, honestly, like, I mean, I haven't been on every bridge, obviously, but I felt like this one was like just as beautiful as I've been to the Golden Gate Bridge. And this one, I don't know, I just thought it was gorgeous. And this day, Philadelphia had a heat index of 115 degrees. That was insane. So this trip wasn't very long because honestly, we couldn't handle it. But we went and had a Philly. We saw the Rocky Steps and the statue, and we did a few other things too. But this day as well, I felt really good. I handled the traveling in the car very well. The heat it was tough though this day. It would have been for anybody, even in great shape, and in health. But still, it was definitely a day to remember. And we enjoyed our Phillies, so that was a good thing, and we'll always remember that. In this clip, I really shortened it down, but I just wanted to talk about something super quick. So these three ended up running up, my husband and two of our kids. The rest of us it was so hot that we just kind of like took our time going up. My husband almost fell there. But anyways, I did fine walking up the stairs. I did have help, excuse me, coming down the stairs though. Just between the heat and the way the steps were and how many there were, and there was no railing. But if you need help with dealing with triple PD, don't feel bad about it. Like I knew like I was feeling unsteady, so I just I walked down with my husband, arm in arm, because I needed that little bit of help. And, that's not a big deal. This is still a win, even though I needed a little bit help getting down. All right, and this is us locking up the condo and leaving Jersey Shore. I did want to talk about super quick. I didn't get any clips using this camera, but one day we actually went fishing on the bay, and I shared some of that on Instagram. So some of you will know that I also did that. Right away, getting out on the water, on the water was a little bit iffy. I was feeling not so good that day, but I acclimated. I got used to my environment, and I actually did really well. And we caught some really cool fish and had a great experience. And we were out there for 3 hours. And so, yeah, I don't know. It was a win. I wish I had clips to show you guys, but at least I can tell you about it. So here we're just saying goodbye. And in closing, this is us taking off from DC and heading to Minneapolis. We got amazing deals on flights from Minneapolis to DC, and then we just drove the rest of the way home from the Twin Cities. But I just wanted to share that overall, I did amazing on this trip. I'm so proud of myself. I know my husband was proud of me too, and I did so many things that I couldn't do before. But the thing is, I want on the realistic side of things, I just want to to remind you guys, like, I still felt symptoms every day. Like I still had to deal with some things, but they were mild. And you know what? If you have a mild day, be super grateful and thankful for that, and don't focus on the symptoms so much, and just try enjoying your day and whatever you're doing. Um, on the tail end of this trip, I did hit a wall. It did happen. Unfortunately, I got overloaded. Um, and so things were a little bit more difficult. Like this takeoff right here was a little, like a lot more difficult. Going back through that tunnel, like I said earlier, was a lot more difficult. Being in the airport that day was more difficult. But the thing is, it did not trump the whole like amount of good things that happened on the trip, and the amount of things that I overcame and the fears that I overcame, and I honestly, like, my mind is absolutely blown on the amount of things that I was able to do. And so now coming home, I'm like, you know what? I realize I can actually do a whole lot more than I realized. And so, if you're scared to do something and you know that you can make it through it, I encourage you to do it, and if you're scared to do it by yourself, like I've said in previous videos, get somebody to do it with you, whatever that thing may be for you. So I hope this encouraged some of you. And as always, if you want to chat or visit, you can follow me over on Instagram. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.